All right, I'm on hole number 3 of the Extreme Hills Tournament in Tuesday's qualifying round in the Ricky Division. I'm in my practice account, so I'm getting in one more round to practice. I may practice today and I may qualify today. I haven't fully committed yet. I'm on track to qualify, but I haven't fully committed. So on this hole in my main account, I'm bringing out a 5-power ball, and I'm trying to get up to these moguls. And from these moguls up here, if you're up in this range, you're in mid. And I'm usually up towards that top mogul. I'm in mid hornet, and I'm doing, you're way uphill. Green's down here and you're up here. It's plus 30%. And I'm not absolutely sure about the 30. It could be higher, but it's every bit of 30. And you are way uphill. If you're down here, you're not as far uphill, so it's probably the elevation adjustment's going to change. But I don't have any power 5 balls to burn in this account, so I'm going to hit it straight forward. Now, I saw somebody yesterday come out here, and they actually brought a katana, and they did a max overpower shot and actually bled down to the bottom. And they got a long iron from there. I'm not sure if you can get it if you get all the way to the top. I think your red line issue, you might have a long iron, but they were way down in there. So I haven't fully decided how I'm going to play this hole. I know how I'm going to play it in my upper developed account, but in here, I'm just going to hit it up to the top and probably end up going at it with a wood. It's a hard shot with a wood just because it's so long that there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. You're running the ball out, having to put topspin on it. And it's very easy to, if you're just slightly off trajectory, or if it hits something and it can bounce around, and a lot of stuff can go wrong when you're trying to run up a wood from distance. And on this particular shot, I have no idea how much topspin to put on so that I don't get off the front. The whole goal would be to really come at it without any overpower. Maybe I will get an opponent. Tim from Killary for Prison. The Killary for Prison clan. Interesting name. I go first. I thought the shot my opponent did where they bled themselves down to the bottom was pretty risky. I don't know if I can use max topspin here or if that'll bleed me off the front. Let's try it. Let's see if max topspin will work. There's 3, 5. It's probably too much. No overpower. Isn't it perfect? See if that's too much. I think that's too much. It's going to bleed me into the rough in the front. Because once it hits that little hill, it'll start rolling down, and then it's going to bleed me right into the rough. But I could very easily there with very little overpower probably end up, if you crust that hill and get in the downward slide, you'll probably end up in the fairway down on the bottom. So that's like 8.5 topspin. So probably 6 topspin would leave you up at the top. Oh, excuse me. Got up this morning, got ready to go out and try and get some work done, and it was raining. And cold. Our stuff doesn't work really well in the cold. And it doesn't work really well when it's pouring down rain. It doesn't matter if it's sprinkling a little bit. Pouring down rain's not good. Max club. It's 2 per ring. And I'm going to do, it'll be 5-3. So there's 5. There's 5-3. Trying to hit it perfect. Ah, got it great to the right. That'll end up right of the cup. A little too much distance going down. maybe a little further back or just a little teeny bit more backspin. My opponent's up there with a, and that's the thing is too, is you could, on that drive shot, I could take off, I could do about 6 topspin, or I could bring a lower level ball. I will tell you personally, on these par fives, I don't like bringing anything less than a par 3 ball. I mean, that's a personal preference, and I'll tell you why. It's because I have a lot of respect for par fives. And while I'm just like you, I come out with the best of intentions that, hey, I'm going to lay the ball up here. It's going to be in this spot. I'm going to be at this distance and everything's going to go good. You end up in the rough like I was, and you went, hey, I can do that with a quasar. And you bring a quasar and you end up in the rough. You're going to wish you had a par 3 ball. Because I was at Max Club right there. I had a little bit of room, but you bring a power 1 ball instead of a power 3 ball, and that may be the difference between being able to recover and not being able to recover. And I'm a big fan of having a lot of respect for par 5s and bringing out power 3 balls. Because if you've played this game for any length of time, you've seen and you've probably had it happen to you where you were out there on that par 5 and it didn't work out quite the way you thought it was going to work out. And you were like, wow, this Marlin or this Quasar, I am screwed now. Whereas if you'd had a Titan or a Kingmaker, especially a Titan hurts you because if you're taking the wind out on both shots, you're having to take more wind out. But it's just a wind adjustment. But where a Titan can help you is if you find yourself in trouble and you can use the wind, then that's just that much more you can use without having to do overpower. I'm going to practice some of these par 3s, and this is one that I'm going to practice. I don't have the clubs in my bag to do the shot from up here, but I'm practicing this shot down here. So where am I at in my club? There's man. There's max. So right there is about mid. So I'm pretty close to mid. It's very little topspin. Otherwise it'll run past the hole. Dial it over. Scoot it back a little. Doing a 20% wind adjustment. So that's going to be 4.8, 4.6. And I'm way off. And I'm still way off. Hitting it perfect. Well, it stopped it perfect. Perfect. Out of time. That was a perfect out of time. Did you see the perfect? That's perfect out of time. How does that happen? How does it tell you that you hit a perfect, that you ran out of time? Because there's a lag between. That's why sometimes you'll see your opponent, you'll look up and watch their shot clock and they're at 0 and then they get their shot off. Because there's a lag, there's a time delay between you and your opponent. And that time delay in the microseconds in there. All I know is that if it shows perfect, it was a perfect shot. So how could it possibly have been an out of time? It's like playing Magic the Gathering or any of those where you have a stack. And so in the stack, when the perfect comes up, that means the shot got off. And that's in front of the stack of you timed out. And so that should have been a shot. Good luck. All right. At least I was in a shootout. But that is kind of BS though. I mean, how can you possibly have a perfect shot and time out? You can't have it both ways. Evidently, we can have it both ways. All right, that was hole number 3 of the Extreme Hills Tournament and Tuesday's qualifying round in the Rookie Division. Thanks for watching.